Hello my friends, and welcome back to Three-Legged Dog Yoga. I am Lindsay, and today is for bartenders. So this is done with cocktail bartenders in mind. Lots of shaking, lots of stirring, all that sort of stuff. Even just looking down at the bar a lot. It will work for other bartenders too, absolutely, but it is kind of geared towards cocktail bartending, the way we shake, the way we move. More of a preventative class, so it's super chill, no pressure on anything, safe if you have any injuries. Always, of course, consult with your doctor before doing it, as I am not a doctor. But we're not putting any pressure on anything. We're just stretching out kind of our upper bodies, tiny bit of our feet, but mostly just our upper bodies, and loosening up those shoulders and arms and hands and hands. Anyone else's hands hurt just from grasping the shaker tins? Anyhow, enough talk, let us get started. So today I want to start on our heels with the foot flat. Now, if this is too much for you, you can always grab, you can always grab a bolster or a pillow or something underneath you just to lift the butt cheeks off of the floor. That will help a lot with this. If this is too much still with that, you can just come into a cross-legged. This is just to get a nice, really gentle stretch along the fronts of the feet, because we do stand in one position and our feet are always the same way. So this is just to give a nice little quick stretch to the front of the feet. And then if you're so inclined, you can come up onto the toes and do the same thing. And we're just adding in the lower part of the foot. This is one of my absolute favorite things to do after a long shift, is to come home, I take my big boots off and I just sit like this for a couple minutes, or I sit on my legs. It just gives my whole legs kind of that nice release. Beautiful. So let's come to a cross-legged pose. Now, however your cross-legged wants to look, not important. Let's just stop for a minute here. And let's just close our eyes and come into the breath. Just taking a minute to relax. Our jobs are extremely demanding on our bodies and on our minds. We always have 12 things going on at once, so let's just stop. Pay attention to the breath, how it moves in and out. Pay attention to the sit bones and how they're glued to the floor, lifting the torso up nice and high. Shoulders are rolled back, crown of the head is nice and lifted. Maybe let out a few sighs. Really nice for engaging the parasympathetic nervous system, so that fight or flight, just telling it that we are okay. Relaxing any stressors. And then gently open the eyes. You can find a little spot in front of you to gaze, or you can keep the eyes closed. Let's lift up the left arm, start with the left, and just reach over gently to the right side. Making sure we're keeping that shoulder up nice and high, we're not rolling it down. And just bringing a nice stretch into the whole side of that body. And so this, really push down with that left hip. Really glue it to the floor and breathe. Keeping barely any weight on this hand, just a really gentle stretch. We don't need to go too far down. And then inhale, we'll switch sides. So the left hand plants down, right hand comes up and over. And then just feeling that stretch again, checking in with the shoulder, making sure we're rolling it back as if we're looking up at the sky. And then relaxing and pressing that right hip down into the floor. And then inhale, back up through center. Beautiful. So let's just keep our hands gently at our sides, or you can keep them on the legs, whatever is more comfortable. But for this, let's just drop our chin down. And I find when you leave your hands out just a little bit, It just brings a bit of a stretch into the lower part of the trapezius muscle in the back. So kind of like if you think of the between the shoulder blades, kind of the lower part of between the shoulder blades. And just gently leave the neck down. Again, if this is uncomfortable, hands on the thighs are fine. And then let's bring our hands to our thighs and then just slowly start rolling our head side to side. Really gentle here, pausing anywhere you feel maybe a little kink, depending on which hand you're using most to shake. You might want to stay on the opposite side and just stretch out that muscle on the same side. Just really gently, trying to stay with the breath, not controlling the breath too much. It's not super important today, but just relaxing and breathing into this. And then pausing when our head's down. Let's inhale gently up through center and then look up. Nice and gently looking up. Not straining our neck. Our shoulders are relaxed. Just doing the opposite of what we usually do, which is sort of looking down at the bar. You know, making our drinks and what have you. So just looking up gently and then bring the head back through center and then down. I'll just do that one more time. So inhale halfway and then all the way up. Breathing here. And then coming through center and dropping the chin down. And then let's just roll our neck over to the right side. So our shoulder and our ear. Our ear is coming towards our shoulder, and then we'll reach out with the opposite hand, so the left hand. If it doesn't reach, that's fine. You can kind of just reach it out into the abyss of which is beside you. And if it does reach, just gently place that hand down. And then you feel this nice stretch all along the side of the neck, sort of on the upper back. Coming in a little bit into that rotator cuff. To the back, into the trapezius muscle. This is also one of my favorite evening stretches after a long night. I don't do too many, I'm usually tired, but I'll do a couple. And then let's just gently roll our head and switch sides. And keeping that shoulder dropping down, our shoulder's not creeping up towards our ear. That right hand's gently pulling away. Breathing here, nice, relaxed. And then coming back through center with the neck, releasing the hands, and then bring that head up to center. Great. Next, we're just gonna roll at our shoulders. So just inhale, roll them up, and we'll go backwards first. So just nice, slow movements. Try to feel into every one of them. We have so many muscles we have so many muscles in our body, but so many muscles. I mean, there's 4 that make up the rotator cuff alone, you know, so there's lots and lots of muscles there. So just see what you can do. Really draw those shoulder blades together when you're going back, and then see if you can kind of round them out on the way forwards. And then we'll pause and switch directions. And when you come forward, you can kind of do the opposite of squeezing the scapulas together. Nice slow movements. Awesome. And then pausing down, maybe giving the shoulders a little shake. Let's inhale our arms out nice and wide. And then exhale, round that upper back. And we'll give ourselves a nice, I call these bear hugs. Nice bear hugs. So start with with the elbows up. And then we'll drop them down and sort of round out the upper back. Nice gentle stretch. If you want, you can kind of crawl the hands further back and gently pull those muscles, those shoulder blades. Pull the muscles just gently apart. Breathe. Always breathe. It's very important to life. Vital, some might say. And then inhale, come back up through center, draw the arms back out nice and wide. And then switch whichever arm was on the bottom. I don't know if I switched. And then come down. I'm going to try not to muffle my microphone too much, but round as much as you need, whatever feels good. Try to keep the lower back nice and straight. We're just really working into the upper back today. And the shoulders. And then inhale, back up through center. Release the arms. Give the arms a little shake. Some dog butt in the view. Beautiful. So let's just bring our hands just wherever in front of you, and we're just going to roll at our wrists nice and slowly. So you might hear some cracks. My wrists usually crack quite a bit. And you can kind of get the fingers involved here too. So just whatever feels good. There's no method to this. It's just rotating one way and then the other way. And then up and down. And then let's just gently press our thumb back with our other hands. We're just really gently stretching out the front of that hand. So we do a lot of holding. We have to really grasp onto the shaker tins when we're shaking multiple cocktails at a time or multiple drinks at a time. So we really want to give this part of the hand the thumb, the whole muscle that connects the thumb and the wrist, just a little gentle push. And then we'll just start pulling back the fingers one by one. You never really know how good it feels to do this until you try. Seems so silly, but it's so nice. And then just working our way back through. And we'll go to the other side. So just starting with the thumb. And then just working your way through, just gently pulling those fingers back one by one. And again, if any of these feel extra nice, extra juicy, you can stay there. You're welcome to just stay. I find the hands we tend to think about our arms and our wrists and our shoulders. We kind of forget about our hands. We use our hands for pretty much everything, so they're important. Great. And then just roll it, shake out the hands again. And then let's bring our hands together at heart center, and then we're just gonna flip. And then just gently press the hands against each other. So just giving our wrists, the front of our wrists, a nice little stretch here. It doesn't matter how far you go. And if that's inaccessible, you can always just pull the fingers back on the hand. And then coming back through center. We'll bring the hands together, and then we're gonna bring the backs of the hands together. So roll your hands out, and then doesn't matter how far they go, just giving them a nice little kind of twist in a different way. And then you can roll them out frontwards and backwards. So essentially we're trying to keep the backs of the wrists together-ish, and then rolling out the hands one way and the other way. And this is just a nice one. We just did the front of the wrist. This is a nice stretch for the back of the wrist. And one more. And then just leave your hands out in front. Give yourself a nice stretch. Shake out the hands, and then relax the hands down. That's it for the class. Like I said, very chill, very easy, nice and stretchy. I hope that it helps a little bit. If there's anything that's hurting you or that you want to know about, just leave me a comment down below and I'll see what I can do. Happy bartending. We'll see you next time.